Got an interesting topic for today. However, before we begin, I would like to get serious for a moment. Above is a list of CEOs and companies that were mentioned and related to the Epstein files in one way, shape, or another. These people want to move on and act like what they did to their victims and also on that island will just be swept under the rug by the media. Don't do that. Hit them where it actually hurts, their pockets, and also make sure that none of these people actually know a moment of rest or peace for the rest of their lives. This is not a matter of opinion or right or wrong. It's just about being a decent human being, and I implore you to find any alternative to these companies that you can. Or at the very least, spread the message and spread the word. Thank you. I'll be moving on, but I just want to get that off my chest first. I found an interesting debate idea that was centered around the idea of the Ginyu Force, I'm assuming from the Frieza saga, versus the Viltrumite Empire. So, want to give my 2 cents real quick. For the 50-ish members of the Viltrumite Empire during the Viltrumite War, we do know that speed-wise, most of the group should be around like multiple times faster than the speed of light, just being able to clear galaxies within weeks, better than most spaceships in the world of Invincible. And we know strength-wise, they have to be anywhere from multi-continental to around planet level. Spoiler alert, but we know this because, of course, Mark, Nolan, Space Racer, and of course, Thaddeus were able to pretty much upset the unstable core of Viltrum and completely destroy it in one fell swoop. So, because of that, we do know that like the Viltrumites should scale around here. However, this was a feat that pretty much knocked them out, all of them from the explosion, and also Viltrum is slightly more expansive than Earth. So I would give like at least planet level. And of course, this doesn't account for the fact that characters like Frag would also scale above like this feat, or at the very least above like the characters I just mentioned. So planet level to large planet is something that I'm willing to give if I squint my eyes hard enough. Apparently the Ginyu Force are also pretty easy to rank. I know power levels don't mean a lot in terms of Dragon Ball nowadays. However, we do know that by the Saiyan saga of Dragon Ball, keep in mind that Vegeta would have been about 18,000 for his power level. He was confident that with his Gallic Gun, he would be able to destroy the entirety of the Earth pretty much into ashes. So not even like the mini chunks that we see Viltrum in later on in the series. This is important because we do know that through various Zenkai boosts given from across the Namek saga, that Vegeta pretty much was around like 13,000 or right underneath 13,000 during the time that the Ginyu Force were actually able to attack him. And because of that, even with that, he was still very much weaker than Raccoon. Raccoon, mind you, was able to pretty much dog walk Vegeta, and he's not even the strongest member of the Ginyu Force, that being either Jace and, of course, Captain Ginyu himself. With most of the power levels ranging from like 40,000 to 50,000, and with Ginyu being a whopping 120,000. Still, though, this just kind of goes to show that in general, if we translate this to just their overall destructive capability, this would mean that the Ginyu Force would be able to blow up planets like Viltrum multiple times over. And since most characters in Dragon Ball are already multiple times faster than the speed of light anyway, this really just comes down to the fact that can the Ginyu Force handle the sheer number of opponents they'd be dealing with? And the answer is frankly yes. Literally, there's nothing in the Viltrumites like playbook that would be able to stand up to Ginyu's body change technique. In fact, it'd be easier too because the Viltrumites don't have ki to weaponize, which means that Ginyu should be able to get the hang of most of the bodies he inhabits pretty easily. And that's even if his body actually gets hurt. And then of course, Goldo's time stop is pretty unstoppable and would probably at least take out a couple of Viltrumites as well, just for the fact of being able to reposition his own men and also just being pretty good at evasion as well. Frankly speaking, like the entirety of the Viltrumite Empire is unfortunately a average day in the life for the Ginyu Force, but that's kind of what you expect. Invincible is cool, but as a verse, it is still very fledgling. And of course, on top of that, too, the lack of real hacks or like complicated abilities is really what tanks them in a lot of fights like these. Still, though, please tell me how badly do you think the Ginyu Force basically like do the Viltrumites? And please follow what I said about the boycotts below. And have a lovely rest of the day.